There's Ava and Ramona. They're so special to me because I not only like see them as part of myself, but also like my inspiration.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily from True Stars.
And I'm Gwen.
And here we have Teresa Melvin, founder of AvaRamona.
Hello.
If you don't know Teresa, she's a Gen Z artist and she got into NFTs a few years ago. And she's just doing like some super inspiring things. So we wanted to have her on and try to learn something from her. She's such a whiz. She's like talented. Um, So, Teresa, can you just like tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you get into NFTs? How did you get into art?
Yeah, I got into NFTs when I was like 12 years old. But before that, art has always been like something that I loved, ever since a young age. I loved creating characters and stories, and I still do now. And, I delve into like, traditional art, like, color pencils, gouache. And then when I was about, 9 or 10 years old, I started going into digital art. It was pretty hard at first, but after a few months, I was really interested in it. My first digital art that I did was my first artist logo that I did on Adobe Fresco. And my first logo was like a circle with a T with a leaf on it, so it kind of looks like a tree. And then I started, diving into Procreate, which is a digital art app. Um, I still use now. So I love creating artworks about my two characters, Ava and Ramona. And yeah, that's how I got into digital art. And then when I was like 12 years old, I discovered about the NFT space, about Web3, the virtual world. And I started creating NFTs about Ava and then about Ramona. And it was really amazing how many, different things you could do in NFT. People from very different fields that are very creative as well. So I'm always inspired by very like professional artists and creators in the space who do like 3D, virtual art, traditional and digital art, so much more. So yeah, and then I started creating, these NFTs about my two characters, and I thought, why not make a generative collection? So that's how I created Ava Ramona, which is a generative collection about these two characters, which is currently on at Avex. And yeah, so far, like around like 300 has sold out already. Um, and yeah, through this collection, I really wanted to make an impact on young creators. So I collaborated with Adobe for Kids, and they support deserving kids that they give digital devices to deserving kids, which is something that I really wanted to impact. So through my collection, my goal has always been to make AvaRamona like widely known to young artists and also to teach young artists about digital art.
There's some people in the audience who might not know. Can you explain what a generative collection is?
Yeah, a generative collection is like many pieces of artwork, but the thing that makes it unique from like just a collection is it's a bunch of like different traits that you create, and then through code you can mix all of the traits up, and every single like image or PFP is unique. So if you see like many projects like True Stars, Ava Ramona, let's see, like Cool Cats or Robotos, you can see they're still like the same format, but through like different traits and different colors and everything, you can create a bunch of like different characters. And yeah, that's basically what it is. And with my collection, I thought it would be fun to um, just do a collection about two characters, Ava and Ramona, and them in different, outfits and clothes. So yeah, it was really fun to make that project.
Could you just tell people that don't know you and don't your work, like tell us a little bit just more about who are Ava and Ramona?
Yeah, I love, talking about my characters. They mean a lot to me. They're very special to me. So these two characters I created, Ava and Ramona, I created them even like outside the NFT space when I was like 9 years old, and 11 years old. I first created Ava, and she represented my like more creative side, my more calm, like introverted side of me. So that Ava was more like who I am. And when I was 11 years old, I created Ramona. And I imagined her as like, someone who was very bold. And she represented more like extroverted side, someone that I wanted to be. So these two characters, Ava and Ramona, they're so special to me because I not only like see them as part of myself, but also like my inspiration. In many of my artworks, you can see how Ava and Ramona's like personality is described. So some of my artworks, like Ava's world and Ramona's world, you can see Ava like sitting inside. She's very cozy, creating digital art, and that represented like her more like cozy, calm side of her, creating in her brain. And my artwork called Ramona's world. She's outdoors. She's painting a big mural, so that like really shows how positive and open and active she is. So yeah, through a lot of my artworks, you can see how I represent them. And one fun fact that not a lot of people know about my characters is that they have a pet bunny, which is named Cookie. And I created Cookie when I was like pretty young too, probably 10 years old. I want to do so much more with them in the future as well. So right now I have like a shop on Hug, with prints of fine art prints of like my characters and also notebooks. I'm really excited when it comes to having my artwork on physical items, as well. So yeah, they come a long way, I feel like, in my art journey.
Wow.
You mentioned like, physical, the physical and the digital. And I think it's really cool how a lot of artists are tying the physical and the digital together with NFTs. Um, I don't know if you have any like exciting plans.
Yeah, I have a community page on Remix, and it's all about, bringing artists together with their supporters, with, people that like support their artworks and their collectors as well. So it's really exciting because with Remix, I'm able to, create my artworks, and by collaborating with them, they, feature them on like physical goods as well. Like, 3D canvas, or like a 3D skateboard, which I've collaborated with them before. So yeah, and another thing is I have a YouTube live show called Art and Chat. Hey y'all, who's excited for my next episode of Art and Chat? Wait, what's Art and Chat? I create art with another artist. So far I've done, like 4 episodes or 3 episodes. The fourth one is coming, so stay tuned for that. But the last 2 episodes, which was with Sabbath and Rich Armstrong, um, Remix was the sponsor, and it was amazing how the artworks that me and the other artists created, they were able to create it in like, uh, like a physical thing as well. With Sabbath, they created a physical canvas, which is right here. Yeah, and it's really amazing how much you can, transform your art into like physical and digital like world as well. And something exciting is I collaborated with Coin Coffee this summer. So what happened was I got my art on a coffee package, which is super exciting. Join Ave and Ramona this summer for some chill vibes and freshly brewed coffee. um I really love like seeing my artworks on like things like coffee as well. I'll admit I don't have a coffee machine, but it's amazing how other people can enjoy my art, like whether they're artists or not. So it's very emotional for me to see my art on physical things.
That's cool because people who are, they can just be experiencing art in the morning, they're making their coffee and there's art. So I think it's cool to have it on things that are just around people. So it's not just some specialized thing that people have to go to a gallery, they have to do this, they have to do that. They can just be having art involved in just regular activities in the day. So that's cool.
You've talked about other collaborations that you've done in the past, and we are super duper excited to feature Ava and Ramona on the cover of True Stars. Do you want to talk a little bit about what inspired you for this particular artwork?
Yeah, it was so fun creating my two characters like for the True Stars magazine. I was thinking, Ava and Ramona diving into the True Stars universe. So I creating their outfits was like my favorite thing. I pictured them with the like very like modern or futuristic outfits, very stylish. So yeah, with that artwork that I did for the True Stars magazine cover, I, love creating like very vibrant artwork. So I kept my colorful style and also experimented with fashion that, was inspired by the True Stars collection.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. I think Ramona is a little bit more sporty. Like she kind of looks like she's about to go skiing or something, and Ava is like super like fashionista with like it almost looks like an Asian inspiration in the clothing. I don't know if you took any inspiration from anything that you've seen out there, but I feel like you get the metaverse vibe, but you definitely feel like some kind of cultural inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot of inspiration from, what the fashion is like now with very like shiny elements and also like very detailed like embroidery. I feel like, with those two characters in that artwork, you could say they were like the two stars in my life or like for other Gen Z creators as well. So, yeah.
What inspires you? Like how, like in your daily life, do you look at artists that are contemporary? Do you look at other works of, you know, older, Renaissance painters? Do you get inspired by music? Like what is it what fuels your brain?
It's a mix of everything. I feel like I do a lot of like character art, digital art, but the art that I see or the artist that I like, um I feel like it really touches like, into character art, into abstract, traditional, digital, basically a lot. So about the Renaissance thing you said, I love going to art museums with my parents. Occasionally we go to like, art museums featuring like artists from the Renaissance time. And it's very inspiring to see the outfits that were created, very detailed, like the gold embellishments and everything. So whenever I'm creating my artworks, I'm always, seeing how I can incorporate like a lot of detail in my artworks as well. And artists in this time period, of course, Amber Vittoria. I feel like she's like killing it in this space. It's really amazing to see the colors and also how her artwork is brought to real life. Like, with plushies, with, the bracelets and everything.
I feel like Amber does branding so well because when you see the colors together, you immediately know Amber Vittoria. It's just immediately recognizable. And I feel like you also have that as well. Like you have your own authentic style that just like immediately comes through. Like when I see your work, it's like, that's Teresa. How have you arrived at that?
I'm always like experimenting with my art style. I try not to stay like fixed in one certain point. You could see like in the beginning of my like digital art journey, I loved creating artworks that were more flat, with like thick line art, smoother colors. And then I started experimenting with more textures. So in Procreate, there's a bunch of brushes. So I was experimenting with more texture brushes. And now I feel like it's a mixture of like both having a bunch of like texture and also like smooth lines. Um, and about the like colorful part, that I feel like it immediately comes to me. It's not something that I think about a lot. It's just when I see a lot of color, I feel more inspired. I feel very like, motivated to create.
I know you've been exhibiting around the world and meeting amazing people. And I'm just wondering, of the places that you've been able to actually go visit, like I know you've been to New York and Miami, and I don't even know where else. So you could tell us some of the places you've been exhibiting. and some of the places that you think are the most exciting, and also some of the artists that you've met that you're like thrilled that you have met.
Yeah, I had my art like in many places, like the U.S., in New York, and in like UK, Dubai, Canada, Brazil, Bali, India, etc. But yeah, I exhibited my artworks in many places, and I've never like gone to like anywhere in Europe. I did go to India last year when I had my art workshop and solo exhibition. My favorite event is NFT NYC, I would say. Mostly like exciting. Um, I've gone like 3 years in a row from 2022 to 2024. And this year, I was a speaker in a panel of young artists and also a solo speaker. It's just amazing to go to New York like every year, especially when I stand in front of the like Times Square billboard at night. Seeing all of the vibrant artworks. New York just like comes to life at night, in Times Square. So yeah, seeing my artwork on Times Square is the most magical moment. Like I had like tears in my eyes the first time I saw my artwork there. My parents were like shooting a video of it and they couldn't believe it. Um, so yeah, it's just a magical experience every time.
Wow.
Is there any advice you can give to young creators and really just anybody who is putting themselves out there and wants to be an artist and get into NFTs or really just be creative?
I feel like a lot of artists have this like perfectionist mindset. I certainly had it, where I thought like everything in the artwork mattered, every single detail. But really, the key thing is to practice daily, practice regularly. And I always say that, but I think it's amazing. Like it does have an impact later in your art career or in your artworks. So I kind of like live by practice leads to like practice makes progress more than practice makes perfect. um so yeah, that's a tip for like many artists out there, especially young artists as well. And of course, what's important is you um enjoy what you're doing, and also like if you take what you do seriously, instead of just as a hobby, other people will like take it seriously as well and value your artworks. And about like learning about different tools, and experimenting, I'm always looking up to like other artists or professional creators in web3 or outside of web3, looking at YouTube videos about digital art and animation. So yeah, that's how you can really explore more in what you do. And before like creating like a bunch of NFTs, like expecting people to buy it, which doesn't happen like much of the time. I would say like post your artworks and all of your like process videos on social media, and connect with other artists on social media as well to more build your network and build your audience as well. Um, I like participating in a lot of X spaces so I can learn about other artists and how they're going about, and learn from them as well. So yeah. Um, and going into Web3, it's a very diverse world in Web3 and NFTs. So I think it's an amazing opportunity for artists of all ages, like young artists especially, to explore the different opportunities that are out there. You could learn about like 3D or digital art. You could learn about what the metaverse is about. Um, but still like stay true to like what you believe in, your mission. And yeah, building your brand as an artist is also very important, so more people know about you and what you support as well. So yeah, that's a lot of like information.
Wow. That's that's
Take it one step at a time. It's not something that you can do very quickly to like get a large following, or sell your works quickly. It's not about that. It's about building like a core audience of supporters, supporting other creators, and building your own brand or like kickstarting your own art career.
You're only 15, but have you thought about like your future, like what what's next for you?
Yeah, I've definitely thought about, my future plans or like my future goals. Some of them like I'm manifesting, right now, I guess. My one of my goals is of course to make AvaRamona like more widely known, or I'm really experimenting with, how I can bring Ava Ramona into animation. Maybe in the future I could see them as like a cartoon series. Because when I was younger, cartoons and yeah, cartoons really inspired me. Like Disney movies, Pixar movies, that inspired me to create my art as well. So yeah, maybe that can happen in the future someday with Ava Ramona as like toys and stuff. So yeah, it's happening right now with like physical goods and everything. So yeah, I'm always like also looking to improve my art style, experiment with different tools. um, and yeah, I'm really excited about what I can do in my future. I have like a small art studio in my house right now, but maybe in the future I can build it like outside of my house. Um, an art studio where I can take like art workshops for kids as well. So
Yes, that would be really popular, I think. And you could do online courses.
yeah, I'm thinking of doing like Procreate tutorials. I have some short Procreate tutorials on Instagram at the moment. In my True Stars derivative artwork, I drew a lot of stars. So let me show you how I did these gold 3D stars. And a tutorial about Procreate Dreams as well. So creating more tutorials about digital art and how to build an art career is something that I want to do as well. But something that I've planned at the moment is, I'm definitely collaborating a lot more with Remix. So there's more collaborations. Stay tuned. I'm collaborating with an amazing platform called Atom. Um, and that's something to look forward to as well. And I mentioned before, I have an upcoming YouTube live episode for Art and Chat, my YouTube live show with Ishita. Ishita, aka Soul Curry Art.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's on August 10th, by the way, so mark your calendars, everyone.
I think Ava Ramona has a lot of potential because there's so many people that can relate to Ava or Ramona. Like I think I'm more of an Ava myself, and Gwen's more of a Ramona.
Yep.
I'm really curious. Like, have you written any stories about them, or would you be open to doing that?
And I haven't shared any of like written stories like on social media or anything, but that's something I want to do more in the future, especially in the form of like graphic novels. Because I really love reading graphic novels, so I was thinking I could create my own graphic novel with Ava and Ramona. That's something to look forward to. But I tell a lot of my stories through my artworks. Like every artwork I create, it usually has like some story behind it. Whether it's about Ava Ramona or like a different character I create. So yeah, there's like I want to create more stories about Ava Ramona, like how they met. Um, Maybe exploring like the virtual world or exploring more in art and their passions. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you're always welcome to submit a short story to True Stars.
Tell us something that you haven't told anybody else in any other interview, something secret, something about you that nobody knows.
I would say like my main passion is creating artworks, but I also do like singing as well. I don't really share that, but I'm not a great singer or anything. But I'm interested in learning about how to sing songs, especially like Indian songs as well. Yeah, and on my Instagram, you'll see a reel up with me and two other girls, which are like my besties in real life. I've known them for so long. Um, we were doing a dance together, and I'm not a dancer at all, but my friend is a great dancer and she taught me about that. So yeah, outside of art, I'm really interested in singing as well. I'm not taking any classes, but that's maybe through YouTube tutorials I can I can get there. Yeah, hopefully.
This has been really amazing. It's almost been an hour, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but we've really learned a lot from you. And I'm just really excited to see where you go from here because I feel like you're just a rocket about to blast off. You know, I mean, you've already blasted off, but I feel like you're definitely like going to outer space.
Thank you so much.
Teresa, so where can people find you and your artwork and reach out to you?
Yeah, you can find me on my website, AvaRamona.art, and that's where you can see a lot of my artworks, especially my AvaRamona collection. I also go by Teresa Melvin Art on X, Instagram, and YouTube. So check me out there.